Begin to drop into this first beautiful moment of your practice. And just start to get connected to your breath. Getting connected to your relationship with yourself. The relationship that you have with others, maybe just tuning in for a moment of how you want to interact with others, especially as we move through these next few weeks. What kind of energy you want to bring to that and receive. And then just tuning in for a moment to your relationship to the earth, to the universe, to the energy on a much larger scale, beyond the individuals, to this collective. Just finding an expansiveness as you tune into your relationship with all that is. The inherent connection, perhaps a trust that builds throughout your life, throughout these practices. And trust that you're being guided, that others are being guided. And then zooming back in to that relationship with yourself. Is coming into this moment right here and now, and check in and see how you're feeling. Allowing a word or two to bubble up without any judgment. Just expanding your energetic awareness. You bring attention into your posture, maybe some subtle movements to invite a little more space into the body. Bringing some attention into the mind and just noticing the quality of your thoughts this morning. Again, without judgment, but just recognizing what sort of stories might be circulating, what sort of words consuming, or what sort of emotions are just moving through. And bringing attention to your breath as you begin to deepen the breath, drawing a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up the belly, and out through the mouth, letting the jaw relax, a little sound come out on the breath. Take 2 more deep breaths in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Let this next deep breath in fill up the belly and the chest. And let it go. We'll continue this deeper breath as we start to move into the wake up routine. You can find the points right below your collarbones, K27, and begin to tap or massage into these 2 points. The kidney is associated with the water element. We've just officially moved into the winter season. Passing the winter solstice, the shortest day, the longest night. And it's in this phase that we enter the realm of possibility. Allow a few deep breaths to release and to start to nourish the body deeply as you stimulate these points along kidney. And then moving down to the center of the sternum for the thymus thump, giving yourself a boost of immunity. To the side seam of the body, end of spleen, helping to digest all of the nourishing foods that you bring in, the experiences that you have. Nice deep breaths. Again, tuning back into that relationship with yourself, the way that you nourish yourself and care for your body and your mind and your spirit. And one more lighter tap on the cheekbones for the stomach points. A little lighter tap, helping to ground the body deeply. You might tap all the way around the eyes if that feels good, or just stick to these 2 points. You can find where the body says, yes, this is what's going to be really good for us today. And just trusting that. You can shake off the hands, let them come down to the thighs. Take a moment to ground into your seat, into this posture. Let the mind start to drop down towards the heart, into the belly, as you follow the breath in and follow the breath out. Noticing any sensations as they arise. Noticing the overall feeling through the body. We'll begin to march in place, bringing one hand up and dropping it down to the knee. Begin to deepen your breath again. And then pause, cactus arms, cross crawl, start to switch opposite hand to knee. Imagine you're moving through water today. Maybe a little slower pace, a fluidity in your movements. You're starting to swirl up the energy in this realm of possibility, in this stage of infancy as we approach a new year. It's the start of something new. And it's not just because of the modern age of, this priority on New Year's intentions or resolutions, but this is the ancient wisdom, recognizing that at the start of a cycle, it's an opportunity to tune into that energy that helps you create something new. It helps you tune into possibility. This is that realm of water. Everything coming from water. And then start to slow it down. You can bring the hands in front of the pubic bone. And we're going to set an intention actually after we finish our wake up. So maybe you have a certain energy that you want to seal in here, or just an overall feeling. We're just going to do 3 zip ups, tracing right at the central column overhead. And exhale, spreading the arms out softly. 2 more times on your own, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Hook up, middle finger to belly button and third eye. Loop the shoulders back, press into the points and draw up for 3 more cleansing breaths. Strengthening the connection of the energy that runs around the body, the core energy. Then bring the hands back down to the thighs. Let's actually turn the palms up, connecting the first finger with the thumb. Connect the second finger with the thumb. Connect the 4th finger with the thumb, the ring finger. Connect the pinky finger with the thumb. And if any of those connections felt particularly soothing or helpful for you, hold the mudra. And if nothing really stood out, just choose one and trust that, letting the rest of the fingers relax. Take a few easy breaths here, full and complete, but not forced. Breathing into the belly, the chest, and behind the heart. The focus is more on the breath. And just open up the mind to allow any intention that wants to come in today to come in. And if nothing comes in, let it be that way. Just let yourself be open. And if something does, let it come. Take about 5 more breaths, slowly, fully. Open mind, open heart. Letting the body become more relaxed with each breath, which in turn allows the energy to flow more freely with each breath. Letting the mind drop into the practice, and a sense of calm wash through the body. If anything does bubble up for you, just noticing what that is. You don't need to even try to remember it, just noticing as it arises and letting go of any expectations around what's come up. You can release the mudra, and we'll come into a Z shape with the legs. So let's bring the right leg back. We're just going to do a little twist here, bringing the left hand behind the body, reach out through the right hand, and you can let the right hip roll off the mat as you reach out to the side. Again, no force, but just start to open the body here through the twisting of the spine, and then come back through center. And let's do that a couple more times to this side, reaching out, and come back to center. One more breath in and reach across. And exhale, come back to center. Both hands come behind you and both feet come to the ground. Switch sides. Left shin goes back, right shin across. Right hand stays behind you, and then 3 times to reach across into a twist. And exhale to come back, round the sits bones. We'll do that 2 more times. Reach across. And exhale. 1 more time. And release, both hands come behind, both feet onto the ground. Windshield wiper the legs side to side. So you'll switch between which shin's in front. Keeping the heart a little lifted. A slow windshield wiper. And then we'll release and come into tabletop. So wherever the front of your mat is, just make your way there. Finding your alignment and length through the spine. And start to move through just a few cycles of cow and cat. Synchronize your breath. That each movement has 1/2 of the breath. Finish whatever cycle that you're on and come back to neutral tabletop and then into a modified side plank. It doesn't matter which way you go first, just extend one leg back, one knee stays down, and reach your arm overhead so the shoulders and the hands are stacked. Then we'll add in a little side stretch here as you reach overhead, reaching out through the fingertips. Keep pressing into that bottom hand not to collapse in the shoulder. Take a nice deep breath or 2 in between the ribs, all the way through the hip, that whole side body, getting a stretch. Reach the arm right up to the sky and then cartwheel it down to the mat and go right into the other side. You might find a little sway in between sides. You can always add in those organic movements. When you're ready, opening up to the other side plank and extending the arm overhead. Reach the arm back up to the sky and circle it down and back to your mat, coming into tabletop. Spread the knees just a little bit wider, and we'll do a few transitions here between table and child's pose. Reaching hips back, bow the head, and then start to move with your breath, coming forward to table and back to child's pose. Into table and back to child's pose. One more time to table and then into child's pose. Hold it here for a moment. Let your forehead rock a little side to side on the mat or on a block if the mat feels far away. Every time we curl into a little ball and we curl ourselves in tight, we come into that water element. It's like the seed phase, the embryonic phase, where you can really nourish any ideas that you want to bring forward. Pause any movement, and on your next inhale, come forward into tabletop, and then tuck your toes, lift up your hips, and come into downward facing dog. You can pedal the feet a bit here. Maybe you shake the head a little bit, plant into the hands. And we're going to transition between table and down dog. So on your next breath in, come forward and lower the knees, almost a little cow shape as you look forward. Exhale, draw up through your center, press the thighs and hips back, heels down. Inhale forward through table. And downward dog, exhale. One more time, table. Downward facing dog. Articulate the pose, finding stillness this time. Maybe there's a bend in the knees. Letting the jaw relax, taking that audible exhale anytime that it would help you release anything that's broken loose, any stagnant energy. And then we'll transition a few more times between down dog and plank. So you can roll it forward, stretching out the body. And then lift up from your center. Feel your belly button lifting towards the spine and press it back. Inhale forward to plank. You could also lower the knees. And downward facing dog. Come into plank pose. Get nice and strong. Once again, option to lower the knees to half plank. Hold and breathe. Feel the body start to shake and wake up from the tips of your fingers to toes. And then lower all the way down to the mat through knees, chest, chin. Knees come down, chest right between the hands, and then sliding into a baby cobra. Plant the toes down, hug your elbows in. You might even take a loop with the shoulders. Holding your baby cobra, engaging through the glutes and the legs. The face, the jaw, the neck is soft. Just breathe here, opening across collarbones. Lower down to the mat, crossing the hands and resting the head on the back of the hands. Triple warmer rock. Let your hips sway a little side to side. And then pause that movement. Let the body rest for a moment. When the nights are long in this winter season, it's a time to rest. It's one thing to say it and to just even acknowledge it. And it's another to align your actions with the intention, align your actions with nature and the season. And so as you rest here, I invite you to contemplate one other way in which you'll rest this weekend. What that'll mean for you. Maybe it's for the body to rest, to sleep a little longer. Maybe it's for the mind to rest and taking time in quiet meditation. Letting yourself have a break from work or other responsibilities. Just allowing that heaviness, whatever holds you back from rest, allowing that to release through the head, through the hands, and ground into the earth. And we'll come back into baby cobra. Begin by engaging the legs, bringing hands back by the ribs, hugging the elbows in, and when you're ready, lift up the head and shoulders, taking a couple more breaths. And then press into the hands up through tabletop. Tuck your toes, slowly coming back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot through between the hands and lower the left knee to the mat. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Press into the feet to lift up. And then press into your front foot as you straighten the front leg and release the hands down into a half splits. Or if that transition feels a little precarious, you could come hands down and then shift back. Being really gentle with the body. Roll back through the front foot, tuck the back toe, step back into downward facing dog. And then step the other foot through between the hands and lower the right knee. Anchoring into feet, connect to your center, letting that strength rise up through the arms. Half splits. Rolling through the front foot, tuck the back toe, and this time step forward to the front of your mat, coming into a forward fold. Clear the gates of the hands and feet. Doesn't matter which ones you start with, but massaging in between the long bones. Pinching off in between the goalies of the toes and the fingers. And massaging the toes and fingers themselves and giving a little pinch at the very tip. Take your time here. We'll have a minute or so to go through all four of the 2 hands and 2 feet. Just noticing if there's any tender areas, or also if in the past there's been a tender area and if maybe that energy is flowing a little better now. Also nice to notice where things change and start to move, how the body heals. And once you're finished with that, you can let yourself hang deeply, maybe holding on to the elbows or letting hands rest on the ground. Let the head release, shaking yes, shaking no. We'll come into a penetrating flow from here. Bend your knees generously. Bring your hands behind the back and begin to circle around the Ming Man point behind the belly button. Lifting the head and shoulders up into a gentle chair pose. Let the blood rebalance. And then switch direction of the circles on the back. And stand all the way up. Dipping hands down towards the sacrum, up and over the hip flexors, doing a few flips with the palms. And then flattening the hands and tracing up the torso, the throat, and around the mouth for 3 audible breaths. Hands run back down and over the heart. Pause here. Bring the fingers down to the hip crease for the ileocecal Houston valve clear. You'll press in on the low belly and then drag up towards the ribs and exhale, shake it off. Do that 2 more times. Resetting the valves for the digestive system. And then 1 time from the top going down. Press in under the ribs. Inhale. All the way down. Exhale. And shake it off. Bring hands to the left waist. Belt flow. Tracing across to the right. Sweep across to the left again. Maybe a little higher or lower. And sweep across. And 1 more time, sweeping across the body. This time, run down the outside of the leg and off the toes. Trace back up spleen, nourishing as you come back up. A little buzz on the ribs. And then switch sides from right waist to left. Remembering that you're working, playing with the energy here, so it doesn't need to be a big physical strain. And then down the outside of the left leg, off the toes, shake it off. We're going to stay low this time, stepping back to downward facing dog. And then we're going to come forward into a plank or cobra. We're going to start to bring in our 5 element sounds. So as you inhale, downward dog, exhale forward, blow it out through the mouth, whoo sound. And again, you might lower the hips, you might just come through plank, or you might even lower the knees. And then inhale to lift back up to downward dog. Exhale, blow it out and forward. Inhale up. Exhale, blow it forward. Downward facing dog, breathe in, hold it here. Reach your heels down as you breathe out. Bring the right leg up to the sky. Step through between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms out and overhead. Crescent lunge. We're going to move into SH sound as you throw it back down to the mat. And we'll do that 2 more times on this side. Inhale, sweep out and around with fists. Exhale, throw it down. Once more. We're in the element of wood, getting nice and strong in the legs. And plant the hands and step back, downward facing dog. Bring the left leg up to the sky and step through between the hands. Inhale, 3 more times for wood, reaching up and throw it down. Sweep up, release. Inhale. Now this time we're going to stay on this side. Rise back up through your crescent lunge. We're going to turn it into a warrior 2. You're going to pivot the back heel down. Maybe widen your stance. And move into the element of fire here. So our sound is HA. We're going to straighten the legs, reach the arms overhead. HA sound as you bring the fingertips together and draw the thumbs right down through the middle towards the belly. We'll do that 2 more times. In. Exhale, ha. And I forgot to mention, you can rebend that knee into warrior two. Inhale, straight legs. Inhale, arms overhead, switch sides, pivot the toes the other way. Warrior two, bend into the knee. Same flow here. Inhale, straight legs, fingertips come together. Ha sound as you rebend the knee and bring the thumbs right down towards the belly. Inhale, up and around. Once more. Bringing that flame down into the cauldron of the belly. Inhale, straight legs come through the middle. Heels turn in, goddess pose. Cactus arms. And then get really still. Hold the pose. Lift up from the center of the arches. Then straighten the legs and either heel toe or hop the feet together to the center of your mat and come to stand. Wrap the arms around the body, cradling the baby. Let yourself rock or sway side to side and practicing your ujjayi breath for the earth element. Slow down the rock, bring the arms up and overhead. Hold the breath in as you draw down 4 times from the heavens, something that you need or want. And then draw the fingers behind the ears. Reach out to the sides and come to forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need. Step onto the bottoms of the hands. And take 3 breaths on the inhale, pulling up and out of the arms. And the exhale refolds, still in your ujjayi breath. Release the hands from under the feet and then roll to the edges of your feet and use your thumbs to press into K1, right in between the big toe and the second toe. On the base of the foot. And opening up that point that draws in nourishment from the earth. And then you can plant the feet back down. Almost said foots. We're going to trace up kidney. So this starts on that point that you were just massaging. And then you're going to trace back towards the ankle bone and make a little circle around the ankle. Come up the inside of the legs, just like you do spleen, but then come right at the center of the body to below the collarbones where you tapped in the beginning of practice, and give a little massage or thump into these 2 points from beginning to end of kidney. Take a nice big breath. And shake off the hands and bring them up to the sky and flick your fingers up towards the sky. Bring the arms down towards the sides and land in Anjali Mudra, right at heart center. Connecting heaven and earth, bend the knees, reach one arm up, one arm down. Exhale back to center. Other side, inhale. And exhale. One more time each way, breathe in. Breathe out. Last side, we're going to dive it down. So after you take that stretch up, dive the top hand down, coming into your forward fold. Bend the knees a little bit here and bring the hands behind the knees. And just massage behind the backs of the knees a bit here, into those gallbladder points that sometimes we hold in our twists. Achievers of the impossible, in this realm of possibility, it can start to open up the body and the mind to truly start to believe and know that anything is possible, achievers of the impossible. And then we're going to tap right below the knees, or you can use your thumb about a hand's width down from your kneecap where the pinky knuckle lands. You can use your thumb here or use the whole fist and just tap on the outsides of the calves below the knee. Stomach 36, helping to journey, to move forward in whatever it is that you want to move forward in. Opening up that pathway down the legs. Maybe taking a nice cleansing breath if you break anything loose here, and then just smooth it a little bit. So after you tap, you can just kind of rub down the legs, and then we'll come all the way down to the seat and do one slow roll down to the mat. You can hug around the ribs, holding on to those spleen points, and slowly, slowly, using the core, roll down to the mat. Notice where that point is that you're like, okay, I want to release, and don't really stay strong through it. And eventually coming all the way down, you can bend your knees, feet by your backside, setting up for a bridge pose. And our bridge is going to be a little fun today. It's going to be playing in that element of water. So we're going to start, the first part of it is lifting the hips and reaching the arms overhead. It's more typical to our flowing bridge. And on the exhale, as you lower the hips, you're going to bring the knees into the chest and curl into a little ball. And then bring the feet back down to the mat. Inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms. Exhale, curl into a ball. So you'll extend your breath a bit here to move through. Imagine again that you're moving in that element of water. A fluidity, even a little resistance in the movement. One more time. And then come into a resting bridge. Feet go a little wider, knees come together, hands come onto the belly. And either trace or massage a circle on your belly. From right hip crease to right waist, to right in between the ribs, left waist, left hip crease, and circle around, noticing if any of these points are tender. You might take a cleansing breath when you need it, just helping move energy around that 5-element flow through the seasons, through the emotions, through any experience in life. And then pause your circles. Let your arms come out to the sides for a lying twist. You can bump your right hip to the center of the mat. Both knees go to the right. Option to extend the left leg out and hold behind the knee. Maybe the gaze goes over the left. Just taking a few deep breaths, slowing down. Rebend the knee, come through center, and go the other way. Extending the top leg and holding behind the knee, encouraging shoulder blades to draw down towards the mat, relaxing opposite shoulder. bend the knee on this side and come back to the middle. Extend your legs down the mat. Bring your hands underneath of your backside for fish pose. Hug your elbows underneath of you so your center of the chest starts to lift. And then press into the forearms, coming towards the crown of the head. And let's actually find our S breath here for a final release. One more if you can. Press into the arms to lift the head and lower back down. Bring your hands on the throat and stretch up towards the chin and down towards the collarbone, across the whole throat. So you can start at the center and move to the right side of the throat, stretching, coming back to center and stretch on the left side. And then bring the head in the middle and do a figure 8 shape with your hand across the throat, like a side-lying figure 8. And then let that figure 8 travel anywhere else that it wants to go, weaving together the threads of your energy anywhere over the body and in your field. Visualizing them maybe on the back side, all around you. Maybe turning that figure 8 so it faces the other direction and connecting through the chakras. When you feel complete, just let that hand settle down onto the body somewhere. Let the other hand come to the body. Let the breath release. Let all technique release. Allow yourself to rest. If your attention is drifted away to a thought, a sound, a sensation, bring it back with your next breath and take a scan through the body, just noticing if there's any tension being held, and coming into as much ease as possible. Take a moment to fully appreciate your body, to appreciate this time you've set aside to practice and to tune in and to connect. Allow the corners of the lips to come into a gentle smile. In Qigong, it's known as the inner smile that radiates from the inside out. It's a smile that you can feel. and that others can witness. Not just through the expression on your face, but through the expression of your whole body. What would it feel like if the whole body could smile? And I wish you this kind of joy and gratitude where the whole body is able to smile. As you move through these last few weeks of December and into this realm of possibility, I invite you to notice, to have the energetic awareness to notice what makes you smile. Begin to deepen your breath, to move the body in any way that feels good. Consciously waking back up. And when you're ready, making your way back to a cross-legged seat. Bring your palms together at the center of the forehead, at your third eye. Tuning into your inner wisdom and to your inner light. And we'll seal our practice in here together, bowing forward in gratitude and in dedication.